Hi, folks. You'll have to excuse me if I pause a little more or need to gather my thoughts a little more often. I'm pretty exhausted from trying to get paperwork together today to evict the tenant that has barely paid half the rent for the time that they've been here, owes me over 13 grand, close to 15 grand by next month, coming up soon. I'm not very good at paperwork, so it's taken me a little while, and I'm exhausted. But I just felt compelled to make this video and talk about a topic that I brought up in a previous video, a recent video. And that's just when you're on your spiritual path, when you're learning to love yourself, when you're caring less about other people's petty or maybe misinformed or biased opinions of you, and you're following what you know to be true, you're going to get people that will find you inconvenient. You're going to get people that will be intimidated by you, that will be jealous. You're going to get people that are going to want you to go away. Your presence, your light, irritates something within them. Maybe it's the demons that they carry with them and they haven't dealt with. Maybe it's their limitations. Who knows? But some people are going to be upset by you. Some people are going to think there's something wrong with you, or you're even crazy or up to no good. And especially if you're following your intuition, and maybe exploring different forms of ritual. And again, just not caring, or caring less at least, as you develop what others think. Standing in your power, doing what you must. So, for example, for myself, for a long time, I found it very useful to externalize verbally my thoughts. So I find that it helps process information for me. It helps solidify thoughts and information into my memory more deeply. And I find it very useful. Sometimes it's kind of cathartic. So sometimes I'm just kind of verbalizing a thought, and it helps me process it. Other times, maybe I've completed, say, a stage of the forms that I was filling out earlier, and I'm like, fuck yeah, or oh my god, another page or something. You mumble to yourself, you say something out loud or to yourself. And I do it often. I do it often. And, you know, there's this perception that, like, talking to yourself is unhealthy, or you know, means that you're crazy, or there's something wrong with you. And again, there's a lot of people that are going to they're going to be just searching for reasons why you should be dismissed, because you don't make sense to them, and maybe they don't understand why you irritate them so much. And again, you're not doing anything to them. You might be in their presence, or in my case, I have a shared wall. I have some neighbors that are pretty gossipy. You can hear them, you know, on their porch, on the street, gossiping away, you know, chuckling about the news of the neighborhood, you know. And I guess, you know, neighbors getting together and conversing with each other is great, but gossip is immature and destructive. It's something that children do, teenagers do, particularly teenage women, but guys do it too. They have their own version of it. But it is juvenile and it is destructive. It's this nasty game of broken telephone, where people hear something second or third hand, or maybe hear someone say a portion of something or do something that they don't understand, and then they share their often misperception of what is said or done with others. And then that gets inflamed, and that spreads, and that's partly how bad reputations are created. I'm dealing with a reputation in my community where a lot of people don't seem to want to interact, don't want to, like, even make eye contact and things like this. And again, I've barely spoken to anybody. Some days I have trouble with my jaw and my throat, so it's kind of a bit difficult to carry on a conversation. I'm also not very good at small talk. I don't really enjoy it, but I'm not that great at it, and I've gotten worse at small talk over these recent years. I suppose as I've had other things to focus on. But, some people like to chit chat. Some people like small talk. There's nothing wrong with chit chat or small talk, but gossip is destructive. And so I've got a shared wall. I've got people across the street. I've got a tenant downstairs, that is living for free, living rent free. And it's easy to form negative perceptions of people and spread that. And that's how gossip is destructive. And so, I say things out loud sometimes, and no one else is around in the house. Sometimes I'm externalizing my thoughts verbally, and it's very useful for me. Other times, I'm excited about a thought I had, some epiphany or light bulb, and I'm expressing that excitement. Sometimes I have headphones on, and I'm watching a movie, and, it's another thing that people do. You see it in sports especially, but, for movies as well. It's depicted in some films where people kind of like yell at, in a movie theater, they like yell at, say, someone in a horror movie. It's like, oh, watch out, he's around the corner, It's like sometimes you comment, or people do, maybe you don't, but some people do, comment on what they're watching. I do that. And even if I'm reading something, or watching a video, like some of these tarot videos, I might, at a certain point, say something out loud to respond to something that was said. Sort of a externalization of the thought process. Or, knock on something, or tap my foot, or cheer in some way, or say, come on, like different kinds of ways to agree with or disagree with or question what you're experiencing and what you're watching, say in a tarot video, for example. But it could be really any kind of media that you are consuming, that you're viewing. And you see it in sports. It's something that guys do a lot, right? There'll be the whole sports game. Maybe they're just watching it themselves, and they're yelling at the screen, "Oh, move faster! Oh, how could you not make that goal?" Various things. Maybe watching a fight. It's like, watch out for the head kick. Oh, no, it's coming. Oh, watch out for the head kick. Oh, he got head kicked. People externalize their thoughts in various ways. And apart from that, maybe you're having a conversation with the divine, right? Maybe you are saying some mantra. Maybe you are saying a prayer. Maybe you are, this is something that some people do. And again, it's very threatening for some more modern belief systems. But maybe you're having a conversation with a deceased loved one. This is very healthy, right? Maybe not for people who don't understand it because it threatens them and makes them feel uncomfortable. But this is something that happens where people converse with those that they love that have passed on in various ways. This is also very natural. It's something that's been done for generations and still done around the world in different ways. You see it in movies when people go to a graveyard, maybe lay some flowers down, have a conversation at the headstone, right? People do this in their own home as well. So, I don't know what the source of the negative reaction and the lack of desire to interact with me, but I keep, trying to look at people in the eye, especially these days, now that I'm a little more together, have my health under control so I can speak a little better, and trying to come out of this many year long catastrophe that I've endured. So I'm kind of coming out of the shadows that I had to walk in and trying to interact with people more. And it's difficult when a lot of people don't even want to maintain eye contact with you. Again, I've barely got in any conflicts with anybody, so it's not warranted. It's not fair. But especially with men that are hard for others to understand. At this time in our culture, it's very easy for a lot of people to stigmatize a man, especially if they're introverted, like I have been for a long time, as there's something wrong, as someone to avoid. And so I guess from experience, trying to look at people and even speak to them in some cases, it seems like I might be in that category. And again, it's not fair. And with time, I will go out there and continue to interact with people, and it'll be up to them whether they want to be decent civil human beings. I'll probably have a body cam at some point and might record some of the conversations. It's interesting how people will be on their best behavior when they're on camera. I mean, that's not really the reason. I just kind of want to go out and interact with Torontonians and see how civil Canadians really are. But I just wanted to make a video to talk about the fact that gossip is destructive. And something that feeds gossip is, as I mentioned in a previous video, this sick spirit of voyeurism that is gripping many, many hearts in this age, especially in the West. Everyone's listening and commenting and judging other people, and in some cases taking video to be able to post for likes and attention. A lot of it is negative, and it's really unfortunate. It's really unfortunate the way that people watch from afar or listen from afar, judge, formulate their misperceptions into some kind of truth, and then spread it as gossip. It's destructive, it's juvenile, and, why? My question is, why aren't you as a person, especially as a Canadian, we're supposed to be kind and level-headed. That's, I guess, part of our identity, maybe some people would say. But why aren't you, in general, if you're a decent human being, looking at others, doing your best to understand what you can, judging less, and wishing them well? There's a lot of people, especially since the worldwide sickness, that have gone through really, really difficult experiences for the last few years. But before that, you don't know what a person's going through. Don't automatically judge them because they trigger you. Be strong. Do the hard work. Maybe you need to step onto your path and learn the lessons of your spirit a little more. But be decent. Be civil. Don't judge other people and then spread that. That's corrupt. And you're just participating in this corrupt culture that takes advantage of other people that are trying to do the right thing. So, be good. Don't gossip. And if you hear or see people do things that you don't understand, give them the benefit of the doubt. In the long run, that will benefit you. So, I guess that's all I wanted to say for now. Remember that. Remember that.